Hey, Sarge, I got a good idea. Hey, I am Chuck the Bureaucrat, and today I want to share a notion that can have a serious implication on your career, both in the later part of it and in your retirement, especially if you're going to follow the entrepreneurial track. That notion is there is no such thing as a good idea. There is only good execution. I mean, you can take a pretty lousy idea, combine it with some good execution, and you'll get okay results. That doesn't mean that good execution can solve all problems, but it can make up for some half-baked ideas. However, if you lack good execution, even the most brilliant ideas will fail. In fact, I would say that more subtle, nuanced, and sophisticated an idea is, the more it relies on excellent execution. But so what? I mean, you probably already knew this, or at least had an intuition about it. But what does it mean for your career and for your retirement? Well, as you start to rise through the military bureaucracy, there starts to be a natural separation between ideas and execution. I mean, when you're down at platoon or company level, you can cook up some kind of bright idea and you can personally execute it. But by the time you're at brigade headquarters and you come up with some kind of clever idea, well, somebody else is going to have to execute it. And let's be honest, an idea that sounds good on a PowerPoint slide, it might be almost impossible to implement down in the motor pool. So this notion that there is no such thing as a good idea, well, it impacts your career in two ways. Number one, if you want to create good policy, you are going to have to seek out input from the people who will have to implement that policy. In fact, you might even be better off if you give the command enough flexibility to figure out their own best way of implementing that policy. And number two, be prepared to run into leaders who already know this. And I'm talking to you, eager beaver young major. Do not be surprised when you run into the command sergeant major or the colonel who just squashes your clever idea because you have not fully considered this question of how will it be executed. Okay, so how does this apply to your military transition? Well, it particularly matters if you're following that entrepreneurial transition track, because in business, the same rule applies. A simple idea executed well always has an advantage. Business registries are littered with all sorts of companies that started out with great ideas that they failed to execute. And I'll take this a bit further. While you were in uniform, you occasionally got away with a crappy plan just by relying on the robust and well-trained leadership that was subordinate to you. All those NCOs who were working hard to fill in the gaps of your plan. In fact, that's kind of the whole idea of mission command. But when you start building your own business, you do not have those trusty staff sergeants to fill in the blanks for you. The likelihood that your brilliant plan gets misinterpreted or misunderstood or poorly executed just goes up and up and up. So focus on execution and being personally involved. Oh, and watch your finances. You know, when a business fails, it always fails financially. So if you want to see how to stay on top of your finances, watch this video.